Hi, it's Rick. I'm back for Pixi Dust Designs today, and today we are going to be making a cute little box using the Bone Box Pixie Cuts, the Valentine's Puppies Stamp Set, and some distressed oxide ink. I'm going to be stamping in that ink. You will find all the supplies listed on my blog post if you're watching this on the Pixi Dust Design channel. I'm starting off by stamping each of the puppies from the stamp set because I'm going to make my own pattern paper to cut my box from. So I have 2 sheets of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. This is a good heavyweight cardstock. When you're making this box, you do want to use a little bit heavier weight cardstock, make it easier and sturdier. So I'm just filling in this paper with different colors, stamping randomly with the Valentine's puppies. Or make sure I got the name right. Yeah, Valentine's Puppy Stamp Set. I didn't use the die set today, but there are dies available for the stamp set. So I'm just coming in and filling up both sheets of paper. One I'm doing off of screen. That way you're going to need 2 sheets, 8.5 by 11 sheets of cardstock, or actually 1.5 sheets for this project. So I'm just going to randomly stamp all of these cute little puppies in their different little poses and different colors of ink. I did pick ink that coordinated, and actually the ink actually goes very well with the paper pad that is called Puppy Love from Pixi Dust Design. It goes, so actually where I pulled those colors from and matched them. So this is part of the April release. So it's all about puppies and cute little dog themes. So if you're a dog lover, this release is for you. All right, to finish up my pattern paper that I'm making, I am stamping the very small bow from the set in 1st and 2nd generation stamping, and just filling out any little gaps in my on my cardstock. And then once I get that done, I'm going to cut out the bone box. And I'm not going to lie to y'all, this was a little tricky. I've made this box like 3 times already, but I did get it finally. Sorry, I had to get a drink, started to get a cough. So I'm finishing that up. And again, I did stamp the other sheet off screen. I found it was easier to cut your 8.5 by 11 in half at 4 1/4 to do the sides of the box. You're going to need 4 of those. And I'm going to cut it out once, and I'm going to move the die up because if you're like me, you might not have a big platform. So you have to shift your die up a little bit and recut it. So you're going to run it through actually twice for each one. I'm cutting out the outside of the box from that same cardstock, and I've got all my pieces cut out. Now, this is a big thing. You need to take a bone folder. You want to use a bone folder for this. Increase your score lines that are made with the die extremely well. This is really imperative that you do. You're not going to be able to get the box put together right. If not, ask me how I know. Again, I told you I made this box 3 times. The first time I did it, it was not good. So I actually went to the owner, asked for help. She sent us told us some tricks to do. So I was able to make it the 2nd time. And this is the 3rd time I've made it. So I'm going to go ahead and add some liquid glue on this little tab. And I'm going to connect the one of the other similar pieces together. And now I'm going to take my bone folder, and this is critical. On those long strips, you're going to really manipulate the cardstock and get them to curl. It's very important you curl. That's going to help you get the shape of the bone box. It's going to see how it's starting to take that shape. You're going to skip those little tabs and do the 2 long tabs and get those really going. You really want to manipulate your cardstock so that you can get that shape going into your card. You can see it starting to form. Once you get it going, you can go ahead and attach the other tab to the other side. And then you're going to have to do a little bit more with the bone folder because at least I found that it was better because it gets a little hard when you have those 2 pieces of cardstock glued together. So I did a little bit more of the bone folder right there. So that way I got a nice crease. You're going to do the same thing to the other side. One will end up being the top of the box. One will end up being the bottom. So I will tell you a trick on when we get to the top. We're going to work on the bottom first, but you're going to keep doing that same thing on the other one. You're going to keep your bone folder going, make it nice and curled so that you have that shape. Start getting the shape of your bone, the end of the bone. And the more you curl it, the better off you are. It actually, at least that's what I found. The more I manipulated that cardstock into the shape, it was much easier to put the box together. So now I'm going to come in and add liquid glue on that little tab and put that one together, attach it to the other side, and I'm going to give it a little bit more manipulation with the bone folder to see how it kind of straightened out. That way I can kind of curl that just a little bit after it dried a second, and I can start pushing it into place with my fingers. And you can see how it's starting to take shape of that bone. Now, you're going to use the base piece. You're going to add adhesive to the side. Do one side at a time. And you're going to attach it to the bottom or top. This is going to be the bottom. I like to work on the bottom first. You're going to line it up right in the center and attach it down and get that adhesive nice and stuck. I tried this with dry adhesive. It was not that easy. So I do recommend the liquid adhesive for this. It will help you out in the long run. You will just have to take your time and hold it where you before it dries. Now, this is critical. You want to start putting the sides together, or the circles on the side I'm working on now, on that flap closest to where you just adhered. And you've got to really push that into that corner and manipulate it around. So I'm going to take my time and I'm going to just manipulate the cardstock into the shape of that rounded corner. But you want to start in that corner right there where we just adhered the side, because if you start in the center like you think at the top, it's not going to line up right. You're not going to have the shape. It's not going to line up on the other side. So you've got to start on that side where I started at and manipulate it around. Now, I did find it easier, like I'm doing right now, to take and put it down where I can look on the inside and move things around. That's why I really found the liquid glue easier. There is another part. Don't worry about how messy it looks on the inside. There's another die in the set that cuts a stitch bone that you can use for the inside to hide your the ugliness in there. It's the only way I know how to put it, to hide the ugly. All right, so we're going to keep manipulating that side to get it around. And I started in that corner, and then I lift up the little underneath and just add a little liquid glue and just keep manipulating it into the shape of the bone on the ends. Now I've got that in there, and I can press it into place really well. Push it around where I need to be pushed. Now we're going to do the other side. So in case you didn't catch it the first time, we're going to start in the corner where I'm starting right now, where we put it to the side first, and we're going to manipulate the paper around the curve. This is the easiest way to do this. And believe me, I tried it multiple ways. I tried it with, like I said, the dry adhesive. I tried it with other adhesive. I tried it with sticky tape. And the sticky tape was too strong. You couldn't manipulate the box around. Liquid glue is going to be your way to go. So you're going to just add that little bit of liquid glue on the little tabs. Manipulate it from the corner around to the center. Once you get it around, you can do some final adjustments like I'm doing right there. Press it into place with the bone folder. Start on the other side, working in the corner. Add just a little bit of liquid glue each time, and that way it makes it a lot easier. As y'all know, I am not a 3D person, but if I can make this, then by George, anybody can make it. Yeah, so I'm just telling y'all, if I can do it, you can do it. So I'm going to finish off this one side, just adding that pressure in there, And now my base of my box is done. Now I'm going to take the other part, the second one that we did. I'm going to wrap it around the base. This is what's going to be the top of my box. And I found that if I did it this way and put it around the base first and did the sides, that I could get the top to fit on with ease without any buckling, because it pushes it out just slightly enough that you can slide the top on the box. So I'm going to press that into place while it's still on. And then I'm going to start off by doing the sides exactly how I did before, but leaving it on the base. That way I can push it, manipulate it a little bit to be the size that I need, because having that little piece of cardstock in there in the base helps it to fit. It pushes it out just slightly enough that the base will fit back in there without any major gaps. So each time you're going to see me while I'm working on the top, that I'm going to slide it on, slide it off, and make sure everything's going the way it should. So I'm going to come back and start adding this other side. I'm going to start in that corner, start pushing it out, and manipulating it around the curve. Occasionally I add a little bit more liquid glue so that it fits, and I double check to make sure the base is still fitting each time I do a section. And I actually found that it was easier to put it on occasionally and kind of make sure it was fitting by make sure that you were pressing into the right area. I found that super helpful on the top. It's the same die. There's not a separate die. It's all the same. You just you make two of them, put the top on the base after you make the base, and it's a lot easier that way. Now see, I'm checking it again to make sure that the top is fitting, and you can see I just pushed that out right there because it was a little tight. So I'm adding a little bit of liquid glue, manipulating that cardstock around into the circle. I'm sorry I got off camera. And then I'm just going to keep moving and pushing and adding the pressure where I need to adhere. We're going to start on this corner over here. And I just love how this box comes together, because once you get it made, it's so adorable. So you can see I'm pushing in right there in the corner to make sure that I have that nice and lined up. I kind of manipulate it with my finger around the bottom part of the box. That way I know it's going to fit. It's just a little bit of pressure to get it in moving around the box. Now that there's both pieces together, here comes the other. I'm just double checking it. Here comes the little stitch pieces. I use the Puppy Love pattern paper for that. And I'm going to add into the inside of each of the tops and bottom of the box. Yeah, it's Puppy Love. I had to think for a minute. We're going to add this other piece of pattern paper in there to hide all that unsightliness on the inside. I'm going to put the top on, and then I'm going to tie this up with a bow. I would put my treats in it first. I wanted to make a little tag using my leftover pieces. So I punched out or cut out a circle of the pattern paper that I had a scrap on. I'm going to stamp Puppy Love on the little, I think it's a 2-inch circle. And then that's a 2-inch circle that I'd used from the leftover of the pattern paper I made. I'm going to put those together. And then I'm going to take a hole punch and punch a hole in the top. Rick did not pay good enough attention to make sure he had it lined up right. And then I can just wrap my ribbon around my box. I just chose ribbon from my stash that I had and had never used. So it was a nice, pretty red polka dotted ribbon. I'm going to tie this into a bow and manipulate it where the polka dots are all at the top. Pull the sides and pull it tight. And then I'll cut off all the excess. And normally I would put my treat in first before I did this, especially if I was going to go ahead and give it to somebody, but I think it's too cute to give away. So I just took some baker's twine and ran through the whole of my little tag. I'm going to wrap that around my ribbon, and I'm going to tuck it underneath the bow and hide it. And I'm just going to tie that a couple times so it's nice and secure and holds my little tag on of my cute little box. And I did find that you can, after you get this on, untie the ribbon and the tag stays on the little ribbon. So there's my box. I'm going to add a few little embellishments using the puppy shaker bits or paw print shaker bits. I can't remember what they're called. It'll be linked below. There's 2 sets. There's a little box. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys. Stay crafty. Love you.